Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 3 in a best of 3 series between Rhett and Tarson here on Typhoon Peaks. This is taken from the Battle.net Invitational from the European side, so these are all the European players. Rhett spawning as the blue Zerg over here on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Tarson spawning as the red Terran over here on the bottom left hand side of the map. Kind of opposite of what you see up here, so that may get a little bit confusing for you guys. Do not worry. Yeah, don't worry about that. Anyways, Tarson was able to even up the series at 1 game apiece in this best of 3 set. So I am very, very interested to see how these finals games will be played. It looked like I believe it is the loser's choice on the next map. So Red now playing on Typhoon Peaks, and I'm not quite sure if he chose this map for any particular purpose or how the maps were decided. I guess I could read up on that, but yeah. Whatever the reasons that is, we are now playing on Typhoon Peaks, and this should be a very interesting game. We are now seeing an Overlord make its way across the map. We'll see what will be coming in from both of these players, as we now see a barracks being built as well. Another supply depot could be placed down here. Now, if you guys are not familiar with this map, or for some reason you thumb down this map on the ladder, there are 2 Xel'Naga towers, and there are also multiple ways to get inside your opponent's base. These Xel'Naga watchtowers here do not cover the alternate ways to come across. You can actually try to come down and go behind this brush and then come back over here in order to find your opponent. It also does not reveal the destructible rocks, the path along the back side. Now, I don't believe that the destructible rocks will come into play anytime soon. If this game does go long, perhaps those rocks may be of some use based upon the spawning location so far, as Tarson now upgrading to an orbital command, getting this one marine up in order to deter any drones from scouting. And now it looks like an SCV will be scouting as well. Both players' units passing in the middle of, I guess, twilight. I can't really say it's nighttime here, but yeah, the SCV now making its way. And perhaps, is he going to spot that hatchery? He's going to come up the ramp. He is going to spot the spawning pool and now continue to look around. Is he going to actually spot the hatchery? No, he's not going to spot the hatchery. That may be a horrible, horrible mistake. He went up the ramp and now continuing along his merry way as that one drone was shut down. What is this SCV doing? I'm not quite sure why he's actually going to scout out that top location when he could have gotten much, much more useful information finally turning around. But he may be forced to deal with some Zerglings, and that may be a bit of an issue. Is Tarson going to actually catch this in time? I believe he will. Yes, the creep has been spotted. A Queen is now being trained up as well, as the welcoming party of 2 Zerglings quickly going to shut down that scouting SCV. Now, the barracks has been lifted off and moved back, the reactor being built, so Tarson once again sticking to his tried and true reactor Hellion opening in order to deal and fight back the swarm. It looks like Tarson will be building also that command center right here, of the very, very common strategy now, as he's going to lift off this factory, swap it with this barracks, and now continue to train up more and more units. Will it be enough? That is the key question, as that factory now taking its time to swap into this position here, and now we are sitting at 23 over 27. Needs to train up another Hellion. There you go, sitting at 25 over 27. An SCV will be coming up along that bottom side, and will it get any scouting information? An Overlord is nearby enough to actually spot this, and Zerglings could be coming out and hatching in just a moment. A Queen now coming out to perhaps intercept this SCV, but the SCV pretty much getting all the information it needs. And now this is what every Terran player who is going for Blue Flame Hellions hates to see: roaches. Roaches are such a powerful unit against those Hellions. One of the units that do true damage and are not light. So because of that combination, they're able to shut down those Hellions rather quickly. Also, roaches are very, very easy to mass. So once you have a decent number of roaches, you can shut down a Hellion or 2. And as long as you are fighting on creep, the roaches do move at a fairly decent speed, as Hellions do take a little bit of time to stop before they can fire. We are now definitely going into that starport. We are seeing Hellions. No Blue Flame research as of yet, as we can see these Hellions. Oh, 4 Hellions now trying to make a move out, but those Hellions are not going to really be able to deal that much damage. And is it going to be enough to perhaps shut down those roaches? The roaches Oh, holding position there. Nicely done. But now these drones may get torched. One drone now torched. Another drone torched there. Is it going to be enough to perhaps shut down even more drones? Yes, more drones getting torched. And is it enough economic damage? Taking a look, we are now at 32 drones compared to 23. No blue flame research at all. And oh, this is going to be a problem as the drone's now trying to push in. Is it going to be enough to turn around, getting a little bit more damage? Very, very smart for those drones to back off. And now it looks as though Red in still a dominant position, sitting on 37 drones, even though Tarson does have this additional orbital command, unable to get enough SCVs to fend off what might be this counter push. Roaches are now going to be pushing in just a moment. Those roaches should be able to get up to the ramp and perhaps deal some damage. There is an overlord here, and the overlord may be able to spot this high ground location in just a moment. We are finally going into that blue flame tech as a Viking is now being trained, and this Viking, oh, the medevac, was it actually spotted is the key question by this overlord. The overlord may have spotted this medevac. Medevac now looking to deal some damage of his own, but without that blue flame research, those Hellions will need at least 3 shots in order to shut down a drone, maybe 4 if there is some uncanny natural regeneration. As a queen now coming in, Roach is now getting underneath, and this is not going to be a good fight at all. Red already lying in wait, ready for that one engagement to happen. All we need now is a couple creep tumors to start spreading out once more. Finally, we can see Tarson trying to establish his natural expansion here, establishing the expansion at about the 9-minute mark, but he is so far behind in terms of his economy. 43 drones compared to 28 SCVs, as a bunker now coming into play as well. It looks as though these Hellions looking to get more damage should be able to perhaps shut down this creep tumor. No, not going to shut it down. Instead, going for more drone kills. And are we going to get that blue flame research in time? Yes! And there we go, lining them up. So much damage to be had across all of those drones. As a Viking coming back over here, where were those Hellions? I thought, oh, the Hellions returning home, as that Viking was coming into that ground mode and now going to shut down some of these overlords. Overlords now going to get destroyed here. One overlord already low on hit points. It looks like it should get taken down in just a matter of seconds. One more volley. There you go. Down it goes. Another overlord may get shot down as well, as the blue flame Hellion now trying to come back around. The blue flame Hellions are going to be dropped off, and it looks like it will reach there in just the right amount of time. Drones are already trying to back off here. Zerglings are now going to try to engage, and those Hellions needed to shut down those Zerglings, but instead getting no kills whatsoever. Tarson losing a lot of units so far, and he is behind in this economic game, the economic macro race. Red is just absolutely looking dominant and pro at this point. We can see now more and more SCVs being queued up and trained up, but without any siege tanks, I don't believe he will be able to win out this battle. Those roaches are going to be very difficult to deal with. Roaches with that base 1 armor, also getting the level 1 weapons upgrade, would allow for superior damage on those roaches, as roaches gain 2 damage per attack as opposed to just 1. One of the ways where 3-3 roaches are better than 3-3 marines when compared to 0-0 roaches and 0-0 marines. I won't explain that just quite yet. Watch my tutorials or information if you do have any questions there. Marauders now being dropped over here, and it looks like Red does spot this, and now 3 Marauders and 2 Marines shutting down a lot of these units here. Zerglings, however, going to be able to come in with that swarm. Marine now going to get surrounded. A quick hot pickup in order to pull back. And now we are going to have a lot of Zerglings over here. Are these Zerglings perhaps going to intercept this medevac along the high ground? We are getting some creep tumors as well. The creep tumors will get destroyed. One of them does get destroyed, as Zerglings now coming in along this backside. Is it going to be enough? Zerglings now pushing into this position. The creep tumor is destroyed, even though I believe it did try to burrow just in time. No real luck there at all, as another drop coming in here from Tarson. So this is going to be a 2-pronged drop, and this may actually deal some damage. Still no stim pack though, so he needs to lie in wait. As Marauders now able to take down one of those queens, but the queen shutting down that medevac, and now in comes another drop here. The medevac not having marines with stim, and that is the true issue here. And Tarson still now just barely catching up. 68 drones compared to 45. SCVs with 31 Banelings now on the move. An Overlord will get shut down here. Liquid Red moving around with this Overlord, just getting a little bit too far off onto the high ground, as the Queen may now get some damage. Marines are being dropped into play. Now going after that Queen, it looks as though the Zerglings are going to be able to perhaps surround, doing a nice hot pickup once more, but there is not a third base. We are now getting some more Marauders and Marines once again. And is this going to be enough? That is the key component now, as the medevacs need a drop here, and Marauders are now coming to engage as well. This medevac may get surrounded or may get shot down by this Queen. Zerglings now surrounding this entire army, and things are not looking good. Losing a lot of those units there, and really the Marine Marauder army not dealing the damage that it needs to. We are now sitting at 176 food. Medevacs attempting to pull back. Tarson does have a decent size army, but the economy and who will be able to replenish that army much more quickly is going to be a completely different story. We are currently getting 4 mules in play, so that will definitely help, as the siege tanks destroying that front line there. The Roaches, however, may be able to break it with Baneling support. 31 some odd Banelings, as the Banelings are now pushing in. Are the Banelings going to be able to perhaps splash their way in and get a lot of damage? Siege tanks now melting away. Roaches having their way on this front door, shutting down a lot of those Marauders. Siege tanks now just getting caught out of position. Zergling is going to swarm this attack over here, and I do not believe Tarson was ready for this rather large engagement. And now the Roaches are just going to be able to push back and now perhaps fight these units one at a time. Another round of fresh Roaches engaging, along with more and more Zerglings. Reinforcements simply too much, and as soon as the Roaches are inside the base, I believe even pulling off all of these SCVs will not be enough. The Roaches are simply too much to deal with. SCVs getting destroyed, and the GG should be coming in just a moment. There it is. Liquid Red winning game 3 in this best of 3 series from the Battle.net Invitational from the European servers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.